Whether you write us an email or hit us up on social media, we like to answer your questions in our favorite segment, Ask the Doctors. The first one comes to us from Braden on Snapchat.
Hey doctors, I have 2 kids. One's a 2-year-old and the second one is 3 months old. I've had a shellfish allergy my whole life. Is that something I can pass on to them once they grow up? Thanks a lot, doctors.
It is such a great question, and there is a tendency sometimes to develop allergies. They can be hereditary, but it's not necessarily the same exact allergy that you have as the parent.
Exactly. So if one of your parents has an allergy, you have about a 25% chance of developing some form of an allergy. But he asked about shellfish specifically. It may not be to that. It may be to some other substance. It may be a nut. It may be milk. It may be, any of the kind of allergenic things you come in contact with as a kid.
And it's important to know that you can grow into allergies and out of allergies.
And I think that's a really good point. And different substances can often trigger allergies at different ages. Like you often will grow out of a dairy or an egg allergy, maybe not so much a nut allergy. So very, very interesting in terms of the way it plays out. But I think now the most fascinating area in allergies is the desensitization
exactly,
work that's
that there
being
are treatments
done.
to deal with
Yeah,
allergies.
because that didn't exist even 10 years ago, and now people with previously life-threatening severe allergies are building tolerance. So I think it's a fascinating area.
It really is.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Drew, I have a question I believe is going to be right up your alley. This is a Facebook question that comes to us from Katie. Everyone in my family gets a turkey neck at a certain age. It doesn't matter if they're thin or fat. Is there any way I can avoid this, or should I start saving for my neck lift now?
See, well, what happens with that classic turkey gobbler is you typically have a combination of some excess fat there and laxity that we've lost elastin, we've lost collagen, and that neck hangs down. Other things that contribute to it, weight fluctuation, obviously sun exposure, sun damage is probably the single biggest thing other than genetics that will contribute to your aging.
Yeah, and I think so the genetic component of aging skin is what we call intrinsic aging, right? So that's the tendency of the muscle called platysma to split, cause those vertical bands, the gels and the laxity and the fat deposition that plagues so many of us that genetically are predisposed to it.
That sounds so pretty.
Yeah, I know, but the part you can control is what we call extrinsic aging, right? So that's the ultraviolet damage you referred to. That's the severity of the weight changes, the smoking. And so if you are already, you have a genetic predisposition, just like our prior topic on allergies, there are things you can do to slow down that progression. So one thing, as you already alluded to, is really strict sunscreen. Another thing would be using something that's going to help preserve and promote collagen in the neck. So retinoids are dermatologists and plastic surgeons' favorite molecules. Those are vitamin A derivatives. There's bakuchiol, which is a plant-based analog of the retinoids. Alpha hydroxy acids are going to help with cell turnover, peptide-based products. So it's not just a done deal. So this poor lady doesn't have to start saving for her neck lift. If she's really strict about her sun protection,
she can help things.
She uses products. And then if you want to up the ante even before you get to a surgical intervention, there's so many really effective injections and devices. So we talk about ultrasound, we talk about radio frequency, there are lasers, there are botulinum toxins in the neck.
Injections to melt the fat.
A lot of things that you can do before you cut, exactly.
And then finally, if you do cut, typically it's a combination of liposuction and dealing with the neck muscles, particularly the platysma, to tighten that, give you a nice, that looks better, doesn't it?
It does look better. It does look better.
Down, boy.